What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I am going to go over a new ranking system that I'm going to do with all new bowling balls going forward, and I'm going to rank every single bowling ball from the SPI catalog that has come out this year and giving you their rating so that you can see where they stack up against other balls. And this rating is all my personal opinion, so if yours differs from mine, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I welcome you guys to give me your ranking with these 5 categories. If you don't like one of these 5 categories, tell me which category I should take out and what you would replace it with. This is going to be fluid. These are just the first 5 categories that I kind of came up with. Before we get into that, guys, please consider subscribing. My next major milestone is 40,000 subscribers, and I'll even look here. As of the time of recording this video, I am at 39,504. So I am 496 subscribers away from 40,000, and with your help, I can get there. And without you, I can't get there. So help a brother out. All right, so if you want to order any of the bowling balls in today's video or anything bowling related, use the link down below in the description. The ball spinners that I use in every single video is by a company, DH Lab. Link also down below in the description. howtobowl.com, promo code Lewis, that gets you 30% off your annual membership. All right, so I got 5 categories, and each category is going to be on a scale from 1 to 10, or I guess 0 to 10. So the maximum score you can get is 50. The lowest score you can get is 0. I'm telling you right now, there's not going to be anything in the 50s ever. It's just not possible to make the perfect bowling ball. So, all right, 5 categories. Looks. Shelf appeal matters. How a bowling ball looks absolutely matters when it comes to sales in the pro shop. So looks, number 1. Performance. How does the ball perform overall? Is it a good ball? Is it more of a niche ball? Is it more of a situational type of ball? Performance. Versatility. That is a huge one for me. Versatility is everything when it comes to a bowling ball. Is it a bowling ball that's only going to be used in one specific situation? Or is it a bowling ball that you can use in multiple situations, multiple patterns? Versatility is huge. The next one is a house shot rating. How does the ball roll on a house shot only? Not taking into consideration sport shots. That matters because most of what people bowl on is house shots. So house shot rating, and then of course naturally if we do a house shot rating, we do have to do a sport shot rating. Now, with the sport shot rating, not all these balls I have thrown on a sport shot. So the sport shot rating is more or less an educated guess on what I think it can look like. All right, so let's start with the Storm bowling balls, and we're just gonna go in order of release date. We'll do the Storm ones, then we'll do the Roto Grip ones, then we'll do the 900 Global ones. And I put this together kind of quick, you know, kind of just on a whim. Going forward, I will take much more thought and consideration into all of these bowling balls. So we'll start in the absolute power. For looks, I gave it a 6. I don't really love the way the absolute power looks. I think it's a very, I think it's kind of an ugly bowling ball, if I'm being honest. But the performance is good. I gave it an 8. Versatility, I gave it a 4. To me, the absolute power is not very versatile at all. It's really good on the fresh, and then that's pretty much it for me. For house shot and sport shot, I gave it an 8. I think that on the fresh, on the house, and on sport, it's a very, very good option for a total of 34. So the absolute power got a rating of 34. The next ball is the Summit Peak. Looks-wise, I gave it a 9. I think that it has really, really good shelf appeal. I like the logo. I like the colors. Performance and versatility, I gave it a 7. Again, on a scale of 0 to 10. So 7 is pretty high. I think that it's a really good ball. A very appreciated. Versatility, I think it's good. I think it's good on the fresh with a little bit of surface. I think that with polish, you can move in, shape it. Really good option there. House shot, I gave it a 9. I think that balls like that, low RG, higher differential, shiny balls end up always being house shot killers. And then for sport shot, I gave it a 7. I don't think that shiny balls like that do as good as they do on house. So naturally, I had to give it a little bit lower of a score. So 97797 for a score of 39, which so far, 2 balls in, that's the highest ranking one so far. And then the next ball is the DNA coil. You guys know I'm a big fan of the DNA coil. Now let's see how that translates to this rating system. For looks, I gave it a 7. It's not that I don't like the way it looks, I just think it was a little lazy. It's the same colors as the original DNA and the same colors as the Phase 2 basically. So it's a little lazy, but I still like the color, so I gave it a 7. For performance, I gave it a 9. I think it's one of the best performing balls that's come out this year. For versatility, I gave it an 8, which is actually a pretty high score when you consider that it isn't big asymmetrical bowling ball. But the reason I did that is because it's a pearl, it rolls really good on the fresh, on house, and that nano base cover. But in my experiences, it rolls even better in transition when you got to get left, shape it a little bit. So because of that, when you factor how good it rolls on the fresh, when you factor how good it rolls in transition, that's why I ended up on a 9 score for versatility. House shot on the DNA coil, I gave it a 9. Like I said before, it is a house shot monster. And for sport shot, I gave it an 8. And the reason I gave it an 8 is because I think it's a little bit better on house than sport, so I didn't want to give it the same score. But you guys have seen Belmo specifically has been crushing it with that DNA coil the last few shows. So total score of 41, which is now the new leader in the clubhouse. 41 for the DNA coil. Now the road. Looks 10. 10 out of 10. Black and red, 10 out of 10. I'm a diehard, lifelong Miami Heat fan. Black and red are the colors of the Miami Heat. It's going to be a 10. For performance, I gave it a 7. It's not a bad ball. It's just a lot of overlap. And a 7 is a good score. 7 is not terrible. And I think that it's a good ball, just a lot of overlap with that ball. For versatility, I gave it a 5, which so far is the lowest score that I've given. I don't think it's a very versatile ball. On the fresh, it's not that good for me. It's really good in transition when I got to get left and start to shape it, but I do have better options, so that's why the low score in the versatility score. House shot, I gave it an 8. Again, it's a shiny, higher differential, higher RG, shiny ball. It's going to roll good on house. I gave it an 8. Sport shot, I gave it a 6. I can't imagine that ball would look all that great for me on the sport shots. So because of that, I gave it a 6, which total scores is a 36. Now, Lightning Blackout, it is my absolute favorite ball that we have right now of the balls that came out this year. Looks, I gave it a 10 as well. It's an all-black ball with a yellow logo, but it's an all-black ball. How can it not look beautiful? For performance, I gave it an 8. I flirted with giving it a 9, but I ended up on 8. I didn't want to give it too high of a score. It's not the perfect bowling ball. I gave it an 8. For versatility, I also gave it an 8. And the reason I did that is because I drilled 2 of them. One of them with a 4-inch pin with a little surface, and it rolls really good on the fresh. And I have a 4.5-inch pin one with a 4,000 finish, and that rolls really good on the burn. Very versatile bowling ball. Pick your favorite layout, pick your favorite service, you're off to the races. For house shot, I gave it a 10. Balls like that end up being house shot killers. It is, I don't know about the perfect house shot ball, but it's the best house shot ball that I have in my arsenal right now. Gave it a 10. Sport shot, I gave it an 8. It's going to be less of a ball, obviously, on sport shot than a house shot. High RG, low differential. I do, however, think that when I got to get left on maybe a medium length pattern, like that 40 to 42 feet or foot sport shot, and I got to get left on a sport shot, that's going to be the go-to one for me. All in all, I gave it a 44, which is the highest score I've given so far to a bowling ball. And I didn't include any of the tropicals in this list. Yeah, I'm sorry, tropicals. You guys just don't make this list. Now we're going to turn it over to the attention star. Now the Attention Star was a tough one because out of the box, first 3 or 4 games, I thought this ball was freaking amazing. 10 out of 10. But since then, it's kind of tapered off a little bit. I've struggled with getting the right surface on it since the out-of-box surface kind of lane shined on me a little bit. And this one, I just gave it 7s all the way across the board. I think it's a good-looking ball, not the best-looking ball. Its performance is good. Its versatility is good. House shot, it's good. And I think it's going to be the same on house versus sport. 7s all the way across the board for a 35. For the Roto Grip Attention Star. Optimum Idol. This is an interesting one, and you're going to see here in a second. Looks, I gave it a 9. I think it's a really good looking ball, solid color ball. It's purple, so it's not going to be as good as like a black and red ball or a solid black ball, but is a very good bowling ball. I gave it a 9 for looks. Performance, 10 out of 10. It is a really good performing bowling ball. And this is where it gets interesting. Versatility, I gave it a 4. Lowest score I've given so far to any rating. For versatility, it's not going to be a very versatile ball. It's going to be a ball that I'm going to throw on the fresh only. Keep it in front of me only. If I have to give away the pocket, I'm going to get out of this ball. So I gave it a 4. For house shot, I also gave it a 4. It is not a good bowling ball whatsoever for me on a house shot. But for sport shot, I gave it a 10. I think that this is the perfect sport shot ball. So it was a tough one because the Optimum Idol, I gave it 2 10s and a 9, and the total score ended up being 37. So not a very high score, but a very good bowling ball for the sport shots. So the next one is going to be the Hustle X-Ray. I teetered on the yes or no for the Hustles since I wasn't doing the Tropicals, but the Hustles are a little bit higher of a trim level than the Tropicals, so I did decide to include them. The Hustle X-Ray, I gave it a 4 for looks. I don't think it looks very good at all. To me, it's a very ugly ball for my eyes, my taste. X-Ray got a 6 for performance. It's a low differential, very weak cover ball. It's not going to be a super high performing ball. I also gave it a 6 for versatility. It's not going to be a super versatile ball, especially that it's the solid one with surface. I did give it a 9 on house shot because anytime you have a weak cover ball, lower differential, it is going to bounce pretty good on the house shot. So I gave it a 9 on that. And a sport shot, I gave it a 5. I don't think I'll ever throw a ball this weak on sport shots unless it was like maybe a short pattern in transition, maybe. But again, we're getting very niche. All in all, I gave it a 30 overall score, which is the lowest score I gave a bowling ball. And it's not a bad ball. It's just I don't ever get into balls that weak like the Hustles. Then we turn it over to the BRY. Again, this is going to be very similar numbers to the X-Ray, except one category that's different. I think that the looks of it is 10 out of 10. Gives it a really good shelf appeal. Performance, I gave it a 7. I think it's a better performing ball than the X-Ray, so naturally I had to give it a better score. I gave it a 6 for versatility just because it does bounce pretty good when you want to shape it a little bit. And again, I think it's more versatile than the X-Ray, so I had to give it a higher score. House shot and sport shot, I think they're going to be the same as the X-Ray, so I gave it a 9 for house, 5 for sport. Overall, gave it a 37 score, which is tough because 37 score is tied with the Optimum Idol, and I think the Optimum Idol is a way better bowling ball than the Hustle BRY. But when you factor in all 5 of these categories, that's where it ended up being 37. And now we're to the 900 Global lineup. Only 2 bowling balls in the 900 Global lineup so far. The Harsh Reality being number 1. Looks, I gave it an 8. I think that black and orange is a really good looking ball. Not quite as good looking as balls that I gave higher scores to, like the Hustle BRY, like the Optimum Idol, like the Road, like the Lightning Blackout, like the Summit Peak. But it is a good looking ball. Performance, 9 out of 10. I think it's a really good bowling ball. For what it is, it performs amazing. It's exactly what I look for out of an asymmetrical solid. And for those reasons, I gave it a 10 for performance. Versatility, a 6. I don't think that it's a super versatile bowling ball. It is, I'll tell you what, it is the best asym solid that shapes down lane that we have. So for that, I gave it a 6. House shot, I gave it an 8. Because it does shape a little more than other asymmetrical solids, I gave it an 8 in that score. And then for sports shots, I gave it a 10. I think that this is a perfect kind of sports shot ball. Keep it on the fresh, keep it in front of you. I think it's gonna be really, really good. Overall, gave it a 42 out of 50, so it's the second highest score that I gave a bowling ball. Then we have the Exponent Pearl. This is a tough one because the Exponent Solid was my favorite ball of last year and still my favorite ball that we have. So how does the Pearl stack up? I gave it an 8 for looks. I think it's a good looking ball. I don't think it's the best looking ball. I don't think it's terrible. For performance, I gave it a 9. For what it is, I think it performs really, really well. Versatility, I gave it a 6. I think it's awful on the fresh. But when I have to get in and transition, kind of shape it a little bit, it rolls really, really good. But it's not going to be a very versatile bowling ball. So where are we at now? Sorry about that screaming baby, by the way. House shot 9. Again, you're seeing a trend here. Anytime you have a ball that's like a medium differential, shiny cover ball, it's going to be a really good score on the house shots. Sport shots, I gave it a 6. Again, same thing as like the road. I don't think it's going to be a very good ball on sport shots. So I gave it a 6. Overall, gave it a score of 38. So let's see, my 3 highest scores I gave was Lightning Blackout 44, Harsh Reality 42, DNA Coil 41. My lowest scores I gave were, let's see, lowest score was Hustle X-Ray 30, Absolute Power 34, and Attention Star 35. So that's where we're at. Going forward, I'm going to use these 5 ratings. Let me know down below in the comments, do you guys like these 5 ratings? Why or why not? What would you change? And we'll see you guys on the next one.